Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. It's the weekend. It's time to party. Listen, guys, I'm only streaming on on YouTube today because this isn't my best work. There's nothing crazy happens today. I have one clip and then we go right into Judge Fleischer. So I didn't see Judge Fleischer's docket. Hopefully, hopefully that's really good to save me. But you know, we can't have mason jars every day, can we? I ran out of time, guys. I was searched and searched and ran out of time. Normally, when I'm searching for videos, it sort of goes like this. I'll go like 30 minutes into a docket, and then I'll start worrying. Oh man, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. But then I'll find something, a small something. Okay, we're good. And I'll keep going. And then 30 minutes later, oh, okay, that was a good one. Okay, and then I'll keep going. Well, last night, I kept going and kept going, kept going. There's nothing. There's nothing. Oh, that was boring. Oh, that was boring. And that's all we got. We ended up with boring. We're gonna go through a little bit of somebody's trash, and then we're gonna go into Judge Fleischer. And that's just what we're gonna do today. Let's start. Let's just start.
HGN 6 out of 6.
Oh,
Walk
wrong
and
one.
turn 6
Hold
out
on.
of 8. One leg stand.
Front table.
There we go.
All right, and if I could have everybody raise their right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter now before this court shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth shall be God?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, thank you all. Go ahead and tell me what's going on.
This is an issue that has been going on for a while. It actually goes back to October 10th. What it started with was that Miss Richards needed to acquire a septic system repair permit. And when they had not followed up on the case, apologies, Your Honor. I did not know I would be representing.
That first thing just ticks me off a lot. They needed to get a septic system repair permit. So their septic system is leaking, and to fix it, they have to get a permit. What? Hi, Walter. What? Kelly. I mean, that's just mean. Why? Why do they have to go through so much red tape to fix their septic system? I mean, if they don't get it done, that's pretty shitty. It's just shitty.
This case until this morning.
I've been there. I've been asked to go cover. Oh, here, this will be easy. Go cover this for us.
Now, I will say part of what the citations are for this morning is that there's been a long history of household garbage being stored outside, and there have been excuses given in the past. There have been continuances being given in the past, but with this latest instance, from what I understand here, my partner, Officer Madison, she found that there was still a large amount of household garbage being stored within a truck bed outside, and therefore that was the cause for the latest citation. And then Miss Richards, was due to have somebody out to repair the septic system. She at first claimed that she did not have the funds to pay for something like that, but Officer Madison went to great lengths to find somebody that would be affordable for her, and she had the appointment.
And that was pretty cool too. So the code officer who had an issue with the leaking septic system went and found the cheapest person possible so that she didn't have to pay a lot. She went and found it for her. That was pretty cool.
But I believe it was the day before it was supposed to happen, She canceled it because, given the excuse that she was sick, and then the follow-up has not been scheduled still.
Okay, and that last or the most recent one was that was for the storing the garbage outside. That was for January 22nd of this year. And I'm sorry to be jumping back and forth between the garbage and the septic issues. I've got a citation 2695 that looks like it's dated the 22nd of January.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That was the citation for household garbage on January 22nd.
All right. You may not know the answer to this question. How did this come to the attention of y'all's office?
Originally, it was because we had received a letter from Environmental Health. It was from Bill Ringel, following up on the issue of that the septic system needed repair, and therefore needed a permit. Okay. And when my partner, Officer Madison, investigated the household, that was when the household garbage was brought to her attention.
Okay. All right, Ms. Richards, what can you tell me about it?
I have been in contact with Inspector Septic, the one that Madison did give me, and I was sick. My whole house had strep throat last week. I couldn't even talk. I called him yesterday to reschedule. He has not called me back.
The neighbor.
And the household garbage bin stored in the back of the truck. There's one bag that we cleaned out of my son's truck that has like bottles. There's a radiator, some, he works water and sewer, so there's some old pipes. That's all that's in the back of that truck. I had all of that hauled off. My ex-husband paid for a dumpster to help clean it up because my mom got sick. She was in hospice when all this was going on. She passed away the 19th. And after that, I complied with everything. There was maybe a windshield, a washer jug that came off his truck that when he left, it fell off the back, and a cardboard box that was laying over a fire pit. That's all that's in my yard.
All right.
There's no outstanding garbage in the back of that truck.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Do you have any idea when the next time y'all would be, when would y'all normally follow up? Or would you, depending upon the results of this case? I don't know enough about the procedures to know how to ask the question properly.
Georgia, I love it.
Now, granted, there is a way we're supposed to handle it. I do not know if Officer Madison has given any leeway. I don't know. I don't know what conversations have been had and what deals have been made.
Where I was going with that is if we're moving if we're making positive steps towards compliance and not just minimal technical compliance, but actually getting stuff taken care of, then I don't have a problem giving Ms. Richards some time to do that. I do see that this has been going on for a while. And you say the contractor for the septic issues, you've been in touch with them?
Yes.
Okay, and they just
didn't call me back yesterday. I don't know if they're busy or whatnot. I do know that my lids are broken. We've got to cover it with a tarp. That's one issue. And he said probably it's just the filter backed up because I did have Shaw's come out and back it out last year. And they said that sometimes they don't change the filter, that the filter doesn't get changed.
So if someone comes out to fix her septic system, she doesn't really have to do anything for that, right? I mean, I get it, she has strep throat. But she could have let that happen outside while she was just laying in bed. They're not going to give her a shovel and say, get out here.
But he did tell me that he was going to help me with the permit because I don't have the extra money. And I'm doing everything she's asked me to do. I have never spoken to Madison personally. She has never spoken to me at all.
Okay.
Nothing. I mean, I've talked.
Madison is the code enforcement officer. She's one of them. There's another one. I think she's about to give her the name of the other one.
Talked to her on the phone. One time, I didn't talk to her. She left me a voicemail telling me that, because I called as soon as I got the citation, wanting to know what was going on. And she called from a private number, so I couldn't call her back. I have 5 kids, so it's kind of touch and go when I can grab my phone.
Your Honor, apologies, go ahead.
And she said that Dawson County doesn't tolerate litter. And I thought, I don't have litter in my yard. I've got one jug in a cardboard box and a radiator that come out of my son's truck that we're trying to fix before he gets 16. Some water parts that are because it was his old work truck. I mean, yeah, there's Coke bottles that came out of the front that's in a garbage bag back there, but nothing that's going to blow anywhere or go into the neighbor's yard. I know who done it. They're trying to buy my property, been trying to buy it for so many years, and they don't like me. Don't know why I stay to myself. I mean, I had mom pass away October, and that's when they started all of that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but I'm just letting you know, I do know who called, I do know what's going on, and I'm doing my very best to fix it, because I've never even spoken to Madison. Now, Grace, the one that was the marshal that would come out, she would talk to me, she would tell me what I needed to do. I've never not once spoken to Grace.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, to kind of give a brief overview of how we normally handle household garbage, what we normally give people, depending on the severity of it, up to 2 weeks normally. We provide 2 weeks for them to solve the issue, to resolve the issue, so long as progress is being made. Now, if it takes longer than 2 weeks, we kind of sit down with them, or we call them, we have a more in-depth conversation of, okay, what is causing you to not have the garbage picked up yet? Is it a financial issue?
Yeah,
we have resources we can provide you that can help resolve these.
See, if it's a financial issue, they have resources to help resolve the issue. Anyway, the reason why I said listen is if you have junk that you don't want to haul away, just put it out in your yard for a few weeks, and then code will come to your house and say you got $150 fine, and you say, listen, I can't afford to pay to get it taken away. And they say, bet, I got someone for you. City will take care of it. Don't worry about it. Okay, that probably won't happen. So do not listen to me.
Kinds of issues. If you work with us, we'll work with you. And so long as you do that, we can set a date that you need to have it all cleaned up by. Now, in my experience, when I'm handling with household garbage, I will say I've never had a case will last this long when it comes to household garbage. I understand that it's only a part of the issue, but this has been going on since October.
All right, I understand. No, go ahead.
Apologies, Your Honor. The last thing I did want to say is, so long as these issues are resolved as soon as possible, Officer Madison did wish for me to express to you that she would be fine with dropping one of the citations.
There we go, and then she doesn't have to pay that fine. Oh no power, security. Oh. I have to stop for a second to show you what it's like having children. My son got a job at Longhorn Steakhouse. All right, if you don't know what Longhorn Steakhouse is, it's just a chain. It's just a steakhouse. Now, it is 5 a.m. in the morning, and he heard that I was streaming. So he got me some spinach. Right? He got me spinach from work. He got me a little cup of spinach from work. But I guess he thought that wasn't enough spinach for me. So he got me some mashed potatoes to go along with it. Who the hell can eat all these mashed potatoes? He got me 25 pounds of mashed potatoes to go with my little spinach at 5 o'clock in the morning for no reason. The problem is, no, there's no problem. Anytime he gives me anything, I'm thankful and I will eat it. Even if he made it himself, I will eat it and let him know how delicious it is. But he works at Longhorn Steakhouse. Steakhouse. You know what's missing from here? you see, you see what's missing? Yeah, there's no onion petal. That's what's missing. Where's the beef? Where the hell's my steak? It's very hard for me to eat someone else's mashed potatoes because mine are so good. They are so delicious when I make mashed potatoes. Oh my god. So now I'm yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make these into something different other than mashed potatoes. And there's no way I would eat gravy from anywhere else but mine. My gravy is so good. So anyway, if you don't have kids, go get some kids because at 5 o'clock in the morning they're gonna give you spinach when you need it the most.
And that's where I was headed. I actually got a little ahead of myself because really this hearing was just the purpose of the hearing at this stage is just to see whether or not Ms. Richard wished to contest the matter or plead guilty or no contest to the matter. But because of the nature, when I read the charges, I thought I wanted to see kind of where we were and if we felt like we were making some kind of progress.
Are you swearing at me?
What I am inclined to do, and I know this is frustrating for y'all to keep, dragging things on and on and on, but I'm going to put Ms. Richards at her word, and I would like to see where we can get with the septic issue. I feel like, based on the trash that you've described, that we're not talking, huge piles of rotting, health hazard issue, that kind of thing. And if that's something that you can get taken care of, and if you can take care of that, and as far as the septic issue, what I would want to hear is I want to know when that appointment's going to be, because that if you feel like somebody like a neighbor or somebody who's after your property or something feels like they can kind of swoop in, and if they can make life miserable for you, then and get you wanting to leave or something like that. I just, people baffle me when they behave like that, but we've all seen people behave like that. That in my mind, and I am no expert in any of these matters, I'll tell you, but in my mind, that's a bigger issue as far as property value, health value, whether or not it's a legitimate complaint, the folks around you, all of those kinds of things. So if that can get taken care of, and the garbage, I feel like you can, from what you've described, it sounds to me like that even might be able to be something you could take care of yourselves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just one bag in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And it's pipes, and it's Coke bottles, and it's cardboard boxes. You keep adding things on, and then you're saying, nah, it's just one thing. You know why I'm late for my stream today, Tanya? because I decided that at 4 o'clock in the morning I had to clean my room. Just I do that a lot right before streams. It's like, okay, my stream starts in 30 minutes. I think I'll go do the dishes. I think I'll go mop the floor. Laundry, here I come. Oh, sugar, I'm late for my stream. Yeah, of course I am. I knew I would be. I thought I wouldn't be. Well, I mean, in a restaurant, you don't really need experience to do dishwasher or fryer. He'll be able to find a job. Or she? Is it a he or a she? My 16-year-old. I assumed it was a he.
But that's what I want to do. I don't want to pawn this off on another court, but at the same time, I'm interested in getting these things resolved more than I am hammering Ms. Richards. And I'm kind of a, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me kind of guy. So I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire, and I know that issues come up. I had strep throat October 5th, 1978. And it is still the most memorable pain I've ever felt in my life. And that's why I remember that date, and that's why I remember I felt like accomplishing about nothing. And
Excuse me, sir. Did you just say strep throat was the most painful thing you've ever had in your entire life? Okay, I know we're not supposed to at all minimize other Ginny got minimize other people's pain. Because you don't know how their pain is if affecting them. But strep throat? I don't even take off work for strep throat. I and he remembered the date because it affected him so bad. If as old as he is, if he lived one day in my body, he would be crying. Strep throat. I got that for my son once. Tens, I think it's called Tens. I got it for my son because
again, that doesn't excuse things, but I understand how stuff comes up. So I know this is I don't mean to just keep a lingering thing on y'all's table and it's making it seem like it'll never end. But I want to know. I would like you to contact our office.
It causes pain.
And
you're okay. Don't worry. It'll stop.
Specifically me is my name up there. Is my name tag up. And leave a message for me. I'm not back there at my desk all the time, but just leave a message for me, and I'll know what this is about when you get the appointment. And I know that you are depending right now on somebody calling you back, but if you haven't heard from, you can't just sit back and say, a month goes by and, well, they never called me back. You're going to have to be proactive and try and get hold of somebody and get an answer. And I want some word, please, within 2 weeks. So
I'm trying for this Friday.
Okay, that would be excellent, and I will be.
It hurts.
Back there, I think I'll be chained to my desk all day Friday, so I will be in, and get the garbage taken care of yourselves, and then if y'all's office wouldn't mind, if you wouldn't mind to have Madison or anybody in the office give me a, well, again, I don't know enough about the procedure to know how to ask this question correctly. I don't mean to put more on y'all's shoulders and more on your schedule, but if I do what you just heard, if I want an answer from Ms. Richards on something positive moving forward on the septic issue, what
You are now writing all of my thumbnails, all of them. I'm going to give you the gist of what we're talking about, and you keep giving me stuff like that. That would have been perfect.
then would be y'all's follow-up procedure? Would you go back out there? By doing this, am I making another trip for y'all that you wouldn't ordinarily have, or?
Now, are you talking about getting the permit for the septic work to be the septic repairs?
Well, yeah, everything all together, everything that we're here for. If I hear from her that, okay, the contractor has told me that on such and such a date, they're going to come out and they're going to work on this.
We do follow up on things like that. That is part of normal procedures, just to ensure that is getting done.
All right. Well, my goal is to attempt to put something together that doesn't put more work on y'all than you would already normally have in following up. But if you're telling me y'all would follow up anyway.
Yes, Your Honor.
On that, then what I'll do is, if once I hear from Ms. Richards, I will let the marshal's office know what Ms. Richards' answer is. Or if you want to email, that's fine too. You can just email the generic email for our office. But if you do you have the marshal's email as well?
I do not.
If you'd give them y'all's email, that way if you want to email me, you can CC them.
Okay.
And they'll know what your answer to me was.
Drunk lady at my bar will give you her email.
Like I say, I want to, if you think you'll hear sooner, I'll say 1 week. So today's the 5th, so next Wednesday is the 12th. By the 12th, I want some answer, and even if it's
if it's here, it's my halo.
I still can't get hold of them, I'm still trying. Give me some update, and if you do get something scheduled, let us know what that is. Copy them in on the email. If you don't have ours, if you wouldn't mind, stop by our office and get it. And I just want to see some action on this more. I'm more interested in that, and I think that'll benefit more people than me just hammering Ms. Richards with a fine, and we're still at the same place we'd be with yet more of her resources taken away that she needs to apply to get this done. I'd rather you hand a check to the contractor than to me, because it's and if you put us in a position eventually where we don't have any choice, then that's on you.
Right.
But to where we have to take a check from you and a check to the contractor. But I'd rather this get taken care of. Having said all that, you know, lawyers, they can, take a 5-minute sentence and make it 20 minutes long. Do you know when our next ordinance?
April 2nd looks to be the next day.
Okay. I'm going to put this on the calendar for April 2nd. I hope it's all taken care of, and if you'll get the same kind of notice that you got for this and everything. But if we have it taken care of, then it'll come off the calendar. But that way it's on the calendar for if you make me a chump and don't do what I'm asking you to do, then I'll see you on April 2nd. And if you do take care of everything, then it should just come off the calendar. As far as non-compliance, Now, it'll still be the marshal's choice if they want, if Madison is indicating that only one of the citations would be taken care of with the compliance. We'll still at least need to be heard on the other two with some decision as to what we're going to do with those. But I'll leave that up to the marshal's office. But anyway, so that's what it is. I want to hear from you no later than a week from today. And right now, technically, this is continued to the 2nd of April. If things get taken care of to everybody's satisfaction, it'll come off on the 2nd of April. If it doesn't, we'll see y'all all back here. So I hope that's something that is workable by everybody. But you don't look too happy. Does that sound okay?
Oh no, I have a bad resting face here.
Same. Now you have to stream, Maiko. Now you have to stream.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not doing something that again, like I say, I don't mean to make extra work for y'all. I know this has been frustrating for y'all, but I know it's been frustrating for y'all too. So anyway, and we're going to call it a compliance hearing. In fact, if you want to wait a second, Madam Clerk will file that in and give you a copy of it, and then you'll already have it in your hand.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
I would just like to clarify to Ms. Richards that things like a radiator is not, I don't believe it's household garbage. I would have to look into the ordinance again.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it would be, but again, I don't know all the
I know what she's talking about. There's a bag at the back of the truck that has Coke bottles and stuff in it that was accidentally left when we put all of the trash in the dumpster to have it taken off. We were working in the rain trying to get everything up.
Yeah.
One bag, and there was a windshield washer fluid jug laying behind my brother's van, and there was a cardboard box. That was all that was there.
Now, I would like to bring back to your attention from what has been notated here. From the hearing on January 8th, part of the stipulation for your continuance was that you have to keep all garbage cleaned up.
So I didn't know the bag was in the back of the truck. I did not go to it, and I picked up the jug and stuff when I went outside that.
We'll talk about it more once we leave Judge.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, just hear each other out and.
In Georgia, court clerks wear flannel. Love it.
I want you to have, Ms. Richards, to have a full understanding of what they're expecting. And don't, I'm not saying you will, but I'm just saying, don't get defensive or offended or anything, just because it's better for you if you hear everything they have to say. That way you'll know, okay, you told me this, this, and this, and I did this, this, and this. Or if they tell you A, B, and C, and you do A, B, and A and B, but blow off C,
right.
Then so I want each of you to leave the building today knowing what your expectations are. So we all good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank y'all for being here. Thank you for the information.
Thank you.
That concludes the matter for the moment.
And if I could, Your Honor, very briefly, just to reiterate, you need to hear from her by next Wednesday.
We are not allowed to burn trash where I live at all. We'll get nailed for that. You can't really burn a radiator either. I mean, you could try.
Yes,
12th.
by next Wednesday, and
I'll send y'all a message as well when I email him.
It's supposed to be
y'all
one.
know. That's awesome.
Okay.
yeah, they'll CC you, and I'll close the loop with you too, just to make sure, so that I know that you know what she has told me, and then like I say, if we can get everything in compliance, then that April 2nd hearing will come off.
Understood.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You bet.
All right, again, I'm going to pause the stream for a second, even though it stopped automatically. I have a medical question that's not no malpractice will happen with this medical question. It's a real simple one. I already know what you're going to answer, but I don't believe it. You know how weed, like if you started smoking weed today and then you smoked every single day for a year, you would not get the same high a year later that you did the first day with the exact same amount of weed, right? Ibuprofen. Ibuprofen. It says that it's not the same, that you don't build up a tolerance for ibuprofen, right? But do you? Do you build a tolerance for ibuprofen? And I know they say you can't take more than what's on the label, but are they right? I mean, can't you take more because you've built up a tolerance for ibuprofen? Also, if you don't have health insurance and the price of all your medications just shot way up, does anybody have any good medication plans out there that are not expensive? I, yeah, okay. Why? Because my belly might hurt? Well, every other part of me hurts. See? See? I'm just saying, I know Good RX doesn't even touch it though. I mean, it barely brings it down even a little. I punish my liver every day. What is ibuprofen gonna do? Okay, CJ, that's what they say, but why do you build up a tolerance for weed and not ibuprofen? You know, Canada's not that far from me. It doesn't. Nope. It still makes it out of my reach right now. I need something better. Maybe I should just, I don't know. Those are my questions. Commenters, replay crew, hit me up. Give me some good answers. Okay, that makes sense. I hate that makes sense, though. All right, Judge Fleischer, in your polka dot, please. So, I didn't get the beginning of the stream. I only got the middle. So, the middle to the end is what we're doing today.
HGN 6 out of 6. Walk and turn 6 out of 8. One leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant consented to breath, and the results were .128 and .118.
Where was she driving? What was she doing? All I know is that she's sitting in a passenger seat of a tow truck. How did she get there? What happened? Was there an accident? Who is writing these reports nowadays? I mean,
Yes, Judge. And the statement made statements stating that she confirmed that this was her vehicle and she drove it to the crime scene. The defendant confirmed that she was with only her and no one else was with her. The defendant confirmed that she was on her way home from a club where she consumed alcohol. And the defendant's vehicle was found stalled on the shoulder of a busy freeway. And the officer wrote that led the affiant to believe that
Stop. Was that toilet paper? Guys, what was that? I have to rewind it. It looked like toilet paper. Look right Look right here. See? I'm going to rewind it just another bit. Okay, he's Trey. Is his name Trey? I think his name is Trey. He's going to take it away. I think that this is a roll of toilet paper. Ready?
confirmed that this was her vehicle and she drove it to the crime scene. The defendant confirmed that she was with only her and no one else was with her. The defendant confirmed that she was on her way home from a club where she consumed alcohol. And the defendant's vehicle was found stalled on the shoulder of a busy freeway. And the officer wrote that led the affiant to believe that that there was no one else that fled from the scene. And the officer wrote from the affiant's training experience that he believed that the defendant was the driver of the vehicle based on the statements made to him and finding the vehicle.
Did anyone see her drive? Did the tow truck driver see her drive? How long did she drive? When did she drive?
We don't have that information.
Yeah, I mean-
So it says that there was, Deputy DuPont was dispatched to a one-car minor accident and the vehicle was leaning on its side and stuck in a muddy ditch. The defendant was passed out in the driver's seat with the key inside the ignition and the engine running. That deputy spoke of the defendant.
So someone sees her in the ditch.
Wait, I think you might have a different.
That's a
Oh, sorry,
different
that was
case,
the
right?
wrong case, Judge.
In this
Sorry,
case,
sorry.
she was passed out in the passenger seat of the tow truck, and there's no other information in regard to her driving besides the statement she made. So there's no one that observed it, Your Honor. And we understand.
Let's do this. I'm gonna appoint your lawyer today so we can have someone take a look at the case for you, okay? Ramona, do you mind appointing someone for Ms. Moore, please?
Okay, Judge.
Just do me a favor, just take a seat for me in the jury box, will you, please? We'll come back on that.
Yes, sir.
Ashton Jenkins?
Judge, Miss Davis is on.
Jenkins.
Okay, Mr. Jenkins, I'm gonna have you sign your convictions. And I'm waiting for your last court date.
Good morning, Ms. Davis.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you?
Pretty good. Have you heard PC on your case yet?
No, sir, I have not. I've been on hold though but I haven't, they
So
just let me in.
Let's do this. We'll have, is it, Ramona, who is it?
Jenkins.
come
Ashton
up.
Jenkins.
I'm right here, sir.
Come on up. Your lawyer's here now. We're gonna do probable cause again so she can just hear what happened.
All right.
Okay, do you mind?
Yes, Judge.
Please.
I'll state it again. On March 2nd, 2025, officers were dispatched to a traffic hazard. Upon arrival, the officers were monitoring the traffic and crowd control of the patrons leaving the bars that closed around 2 a.m. At approximately 2:20 a.m., the officers observed an altercation occurring in front of D Bar. Officers ran towards the crowd, telling them to stop. As officers approached, the crowd dispersed, and the officer observed the defendant punch a male who fell to the ground and was semi-conscious. The defendant and complainant do not know each other. The officer yelled at the defendant to stop and observed the defendant use his right foot to stomp on the complainant's head while he was laying on the ground semi-conscious. The officer grabbed the defendant and the defendant tried to stomp on the complainant's head again, who was now unconscious. The officers were successful in taking the defendant to the ground, and the officers told the defendant to place his hands behind his back, but the defendant refused and resisted by holding his hands under him in front of his chest. The officer was able to get his right arm out from behind him, but the defendant continued to resist and hold his left arm under his chest while the officers continued to give orders to put his hands behind his back. The defendant resisted and said he did nothing wrong. The officers were eventually able to handcuff and detain the defendant.
He is, at this point, only charged with the resisting. I don't know if they're going to do any further charges in the future for the assault. I have ordered him as a condition of his bond not to go back to this location, not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I put a monitor on his ankle so I know that he's not going to go back and that he's not out in the middle of the night. I have given him a curfew because I just, you scare me, and I don't want you out in the middle of the night.
Well, Judge, if I can, when you're done, Judge, I don't want to interrupt you, but if we can consider, because he hasn't been charged with anything else, what I did hear is I hear that these
Sat over the
officers
counter.
arrested him that night, and I'm quite sure that whenever they called DA intake, they ran the facts down just as they wrote in the DIMS. So, and the reason I'm asking that we not, so I'm interested to see whether or not the charges were outright denied, or whether it was referred.
They were
And
denied?
because we don't,
All charges were refused, and I've reached out to the intake ADA to see why they were refused.
I mean,
and so I guess the only thing that I was asking, Your Honor, is because they were refused, what we don't know is the back and the front and the forward and all the other in between of this. So I am asking if an ankle monitor not be done on just a resisting arrest and a curfew not be done on just a resisting arrest.
I'm going to do it just for now. If I see that he can behave himself for a while, then come back and we can talk. But for now, I don't want him out in the middle of the night.
Can we just say he not go out in the middle of the night, Your Honor? But I mean,
No,
the only
because
reason I'm asking.
I don't, then I can't see that he's not doing it. I'm going to pay for it. So it's really, I'll pay for everything. So money's never an issue. How do I know that he's actually sticking to his word? I won't. The only way I know is a monitor, and I'm going to do everything in my power to, protect my community. If that means keeping you at home at night, that's what's going to happen. So, like I said, Ms. Davis, you can always come back after some time. We can discuss. I can, for the life of me, understand how they would just deny. I don't get it. But
I guess when my only thing is, Judge, and I guess I'm urging it because if we have an ankle monitor on, and I understand your fears, the charges have been reduced. If we're going to look at it in terms of being safe for the community, something could happen in the daytime. I just don't want to put, and I'm asking, a restriction on somebody who can't go to work, who can't go get Pampers, who can't go get milk. Emergencies from the middle of the night.
I did 9 p.m. If you want, I could do 10 p.m. I'm always willing to work around a schedule for work, but I'm going to put it on you. That's it. I don't want you out in the middle of the night. I don't want you going to bars. I don't want you going to clubs. I don't want you using alcohol, illegal drugs. That's it.
I get you. I got you.
So we'll come back after some time. Any more issues? Talk. I'm always ears,
I know you are, Judge. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate you for listening.
For sure. And so you want 9, you want 10, whatever you want.
If we can do 10, Judge. Mr. Jenkins,
Okay.
I guess I did not foresee this on just a resisting arrest, Judge. What are the hours you work?
Currently, right now, I'm at Exxon Mobil in Baytown working 6 to 6. I work overnight. I just got off work coming here.
That's a problem.
I can talk to my job. I got you.
That's cool. Judge, that was why I was concerned. I knew that he worked. His sister used to work for me as a paralegal. And so I knew that there was some nighttime going on here. I just, I didn't know, I didn't anticipate this, so I would have had my issues together. Can we make it to where he is only to go to work at whatever day?
For now, I don't know him. I don't know how he's going to be. Let some time pass and then we'll come back, talk to your work. I don't want to prevent anyone from working, but.
So is he able to at least go to work, Judge, and take the curfew off and say that he is to only go to work? Because if you have an ankle monitor
how do I know he works? How do I know he works in the middle of the night?
No. What I'm saying is, Judge, if he has the ankle monitor, Your Honor, then you can see him leaving from his house to his job.
No, Miss Davis, how do I know he actually works in the middle of the night? I have no proof of that.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what, Judge, can I come and bring you a check? Do you have anything on your phone right now, Mr. Jenkins?
I got check stubs right now.
I'm not. You guys do that at a different time. I mean, I have a lot of business that I still got. I got another courtroom full of people still to deal with. So
can I approach you next week on it, Judge?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yes, sir. I'll approach you next week on it.
For now, go out in the middle of the night.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Come on. So, Timothy, give me a second. I'm going to get your date.
Thank you, Judge.
Or you tell me. Tell me what day you want.
Judge, I was just going to come off docket, Your Honor, next week. I'm going to get him to send me a photocopy of his check stub so I can present to you, because I don't want him to lose a job on a misdemeanor resisting arrest. I just need him to work. He got to pay me. So I
get it.
I don't want him to lose his job. It's already hard enough for men, especially black men, to get jobs, especially with this hanging over his head. So he may lose his job, and plus he may have a situation where he can't go out and perhaps get another job.
Hey, you want to get together Monday? I'm happy to do it.
Yes,
I'm here
I will do that, Judge. I'll be
there
on Monday.
Okay.
In person to show you.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Sorry, CJ, that was my fault.
His appearance is waived. Oh.
It's sure.
And Judge, we will be filing assault charges on this case. At the time, because the complainant was unconscious, he couldn't state whether he felt pain or not.
Did you hear that? That's
either way, Judge, if they're gonna file, I'll do my research on it. They can contact me, let me know, but either way, I just want to talk at least about him working. That's the very least. And then I can get a regular court date for him later with Ms. Bernal. But I at least want to come in to talk to you about him being able to work and show you some proof if I can. Okay,
Done.
so Ms. Bernal,
All right.
whatever date is good, I think I have another case in your court coming up. Can we email you what date that is so I can put both of my cases
Yeah,
together?
but
and then
do it
I'll
with
come-
Ramona. Ramona's here today. It's not Victoria. So
yeah,
email
so-
Hi,
Ramona.
Sunil.
I'll have the
Okay.
court
Hi,
call, my
Terry.
office call Ms. Ramona, and then I'll be in personally.
Terry, this time I am saying hi to you. Hi, Terry. So I was working last night, and Bill went live. So I tried to turn it on, tried to watch it, but my tables needed me, so I put my phone down. I walked away, went to my tables. I get back, and my daughter was like, "I said hi to Terry for you," and I'm looking around looking for a Terry. I don't know any Terry here. She goes, "On your phone." I said hi to Terry to you. Terry said hi to you, and so I said hi back. I said Terry with a Y or Terry with an I. She said Terry with an I. I said, "Oh, thank you," but that wasn't me. This is me.
Judge in person.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, wait, we need you to file an attorney record too.
We filed actually, but I'll get them to refile it. I'll get them to refile everything.
Hold on, Timberly, I'll see.
Thank you, Your Honor. We filed an appearance of counsel.
This is on Marjo.
Jenkins? You would say somewhere? No, we haven't.
No, they
Bottom
can't
five.
do that, Sunil. They did get arrested for doing that a
Okay,
couple
maybe?
times.
No.
No, they need to file one.
Yeah, you need to file it because they don't see it.
I'll have my office. I thought they did, but I'll follow up, Your Honor. No problem. I'll take care of
Not
it.
a problem. Okay,
I'll take
Timberly.
care of it. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
have
you. Can
Yes,
I be
ma'am.
excused, Your Honor, or do you need me to talk to Miss Ramona on the phone?
we're good.
Tell her to put it in the chat.
She's in the chat.
Will do.
Okay. All right, that way.
Just take a seat and then I'll bring you next.
So Judge, the next one is Samuel's on page 13. Bobby Samuel.
Bobby Samuels, come up.
Signed bond petitions, good judge.
Oh,
Jamal
Vera?
Crump.
True. I keep telling my kids
Jamal
that, and
Crump.
they don't listen.
I think his attorney has to talk about it.
You are Mr. Samuels.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with failure
I
to
am
identify
Mr.
oneself
Samuels.
to a peace officer while being a fugitive from justice. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On February 28, 2025, the officer was dispatched to a suspicious person.
Guys, should I tell my daughter Terry said hi? I'm going to. She's going to be so mad.
Call on Montgomery Road in Harris County, Texas. The officer arrived on scene and was informed by the caller that there was a male at the above location that had a warrant and that he was sitting on the steps in front of the apartment. When the officer arrived, he did not observe a male on the steps, so he knocked on an apartment and the defendant answered the door. The officer told him he received a call at the location and asked him to identify himself.
Yes, sir.
The defendant stated his name was Levante Samuels with a date of birth of December 7th with no year given. The officer had officers on scene to run the defendant NCIC, TCIC, and nothing came back. The officer asked the defendant again for his name, and he informed him the same name. An assisting officer on scene informed him that the defendant was the wanted person,
Yeah.
so the officer detained the
Yes.
defendant. The officer placed the defendant in handcuffs and thoroughly searched him before placing him in the back of the patrol vehicle and was shown the defendant's mugshot and asked the defendant again if he would tell me his correct name, and he proceeded to tell the officer that I already got it. So I asked for a unit with a mobile APHIS, and the officer used the mobile APHIS and was waiting on the defendant, who then stated his name was Bobby Samuels. The officer then had dispatch confirm the warrant, and the defendant stated that he had told him the wrong name because he knew he had a warrant. The warrant was confirmed, and the officer took the defendant into custody.
So you had an open, what, felony warrant?
I'm trying to find what it was. It was an AFM warrant, an assault family member. I'm trying to see where it's.
It's a felony warrant.
It's a felony warrant, Your Honor.
Mr. Samuels, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm not putting any conditions on your bond. Just be careful. Don't pick up any new cases. I'm going to protect my community. If I find that you pick up a new case, I'm going to put you in jail. Do you understand? No more PR bonds. Do you have the ability to hire lawyers, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll have you fill out an application. I'll have Deputy Miranda give you one. I'll take a look. I'll have you sign a receipt with Ramona. We'll have you fill out the application. I'll take a look, see whether you qualify.
Okay, go ahead. The next one is on page 13.
Got it. Hi, front shade. Come up.
So no, that's horrible. It's horrible.
Judge, have you received any more after?
Just Frazier, which I granted.
Good morning.
Your iFront, is it Shake?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with 3 cases. You're charged with terroristic threat of a family or a household member. You were charged with assault of a family member. You were charged with interference with emergency request for assistance. All 3 of those,
Son,
you're
where do
facing
you
up to a
live?
year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Can I say something or no?
About the case, or do you have a lawyer?
Obviously, I don't really, yes.
I'm sorry?
About the attorney, and I need to discuss something, sir.
You are an attorney?
No. I need attorney. I need attorney.
I need hair.
I need attorney.
We'll talk later.
too.
Let's do probable cause first. You have the right to remain silent.
Okay, yeah.
Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Yes, sir. On February 23rd, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, the officers are dispatched to a threat to life call. Upon arrival, the officer met with the complainant, who stated that the defendant is her husband. The complainant stated that the defendant and her got into an argument, and that the defendant stated, "I'm not afraid of the police. I will grab that knife and cut your throat." The complainant then stated that the defendant had, on November 16th, 2024, assaulted her. The complainant stated that the defendant grabbed her by the top of her dress, causing scratch marks, and punched her in the chest, causing bruising. The complainant stated that she attempted to call 911, but the defendant ended the call.
Sorry, patience.
The terroristic threat was I'm going to grab a knife and cut
your throat, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sheikh, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
So this also is I don't know whatever money I have.
I'm not going to listen. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise that right. Anything that you say, they're going to try to use it against you to prove guilt. So what I can have you do is I can have you fill out an application. I will take a look at it to see whether you qualify. We don't give appointed lawyers like it's candy on Halloween. You have to qualify. And if you do, then I'll take a look. But I need you to fill out everything. As it stands now, I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case and not to be in possession of weapons. You are not to go within 200 feet of where this person lives or where this person works. Do you understand?
Jamal Crump?
Do you see whether a order for protection has been entered in this case? Guys,
Let me see.
And Judge, the DVD prosecutor is on the phone.
Oh.
There he is.
that's
Yes, Judge. I was able to make contact with her. I'm not sure what the discussions were beforehand, but we're going to be asking for no contact to keep the whatever the residency restriction is.
She does not want to have contact with her. Okay.
And I don't see a protective order in place.
On the AFM, there
Is there one in the AFM?
yeah.
But I'm going to also do one on the
Terroristic threat.
terroristic threat.
Yes, Judge.
I want you to understand something and take me seriously when I say this, that when I mean no contact, I absolutely mean no contact. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care that you need clothes. I don't care that there's a child involved. I don't care that you need to go get the car, whatever it may be. No means no. And if you violate these court orders, the state can and probably will file a violation of a protective order against you. That is the capital murder of misdemeanors. Do you understand? I am now entering in what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection on the terroristic threat. This is a court order that identifies the complaining witness as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. You understand? This is what I'm saying, that if you violate this order, they can file additional charges against you. Now, Deputy Miranda will give you an application. I'll have you fill it out. I will take a look whether you qualify. Anything else you want? Oh,
No, Judge, we're comfortable with no contact.
so can you also file the no contact and no weapons so that it outlives the, okay. Do not leave until you sign our additional bond conditions.
Yes.
Okay, please. Can you file a MOA on the parasitic threat? Because I don't see one that's been filed.
No, there's not a motion filed on this one.
Okay, yeah.
Please. Yeah.
Judge, on Jamal Crump, you ordered him to have no contact with the complainant. They share a son together. Is there any way they could have a third party for visitation?
Well, of course. They can always use someone else, but I don't. Come up, Mr. Crump.
Sunil, I am trying to help you right now. Just listen. I believe that something not right happened to you. I believe that. But the way you are presenting your case right now, you need a lawyer who can speak for you. Because you need to focus on what happened instead of all this organized crime and corruption and things like that. You need a lawyer to speak for you, because the way you are bringing your story across, it's too much. It sounds a bit crazy. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm saying get a lawyer to speak for you, because your lawyer will know the right words to say. Your words are not the right words, and if you bring those words in front of a court, you're going to lose. And I want you to win. So get a lawyer to speak for you, or someone else to speak for you. Anyone else to speak your words for you, that they can put it together in a more tolerable way to a judge. Judges don't tolerate big conspiracy theories and they don't tolerate words like that, even if it's true. Especially if it's true. They tolerate business proposal words. And that's how you win. And that's how you get them. Business proposal words, get a lawyer to help you. I am just trying to help you right now. I'm on your side. I believe what you're saying is true. But I promise you, the words that you're using, you're automatically going to use just because of your words. Get a lawyer. Do it, do it, do it.
I know that you're upset that they filed this case, but when I mean no contact, I absolutely mean it. They're going to call this person now to let them know of the bond conditions that have been filed. So if I get wind that you have contact with this person, then we're going to have issues. I get that you have a son and you should have, or a daughter, I don't know what it was, but you should have access, because every father should have access to their child. And I want you to have access to your child, but you got to do it the right way. use someone who like what James is saying, a third party. Don't take it upon yourself to try to do stuff because it's going to go sideways real quick. Maybe if you have parental figures like your mom, your dad, someone that she probably likes, right? If she doesn't like your brother, that's probably not a good person to use to try to get contact with the child. So try to find someone, maybe he can also help you too. Maybe he can help facilitate as well, where she drops off the child at a McDonald's somewhere, and then you come and you get the child for a certain amount of time, and you drop the child back off at a McDonald's. But don't do stuff your own way. Are we good? Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah.
Judge, next is there on page 16.
Okay. Coming up.
You're back.
Good morning, Ms. Stair. Ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do a probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. Officers were dispatched to Fairmont Parkway in Harris County, Texas, and the defendant was arguing with her husband in the parking lot and got into the car and drove off, nearly hitting him and causing him to fall to the ground. Witnesses called the police, and officers found the defendant in her vehicle near the exit with the car in drive. The defendant ignored the officer's request to turn the car off, and officers noted slurred speech, red eyes, and unsteady balance, in addition to an odor of an alcoholic beverage. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 4 out of 6, and the defendant refused the remainder of tests and was transported to JPC. The DIC was read and the defendant refused. A blood warrant was signed and executed. During an inventory of the vehicle, the officer located 2 stemless wine glasses. The glasses contained a small amount of a red liquid smelling of an alcoholic beverage and showed recent signs of consumption. The defendant's purse was located in the front passenger seat and was stained with the red liquid matching the hue of the liquid in the glasses, still wet and smelled of a fruity alcoholic beverage.
Stair, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I am now ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I am now also taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive. Do you understand? If I find that you do, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail, and I'm going to make it high. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. It doesn't matter what you need to do. Do you understand? Not only that, I'm now placing a restriction on your license that you are not allowed to drive any vehicle that is not equipped with an ignition interlock. I send this order to DPS so that every single officer in this state knows you get pulled over, they'll look you up, they'll see that you need an interlock in your car, and if you're caught driving one that doesn't have one, they will take you to jail. Can you run our NCIC, please?
Yes, Judge. So she only has the one prior from 2000 at a 45 DWI, no other prior DWI.
Okay. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, or would you like to apply for?
I'd like to apply for a court appointed.
Okay. Deputy Miranda's going to give you an application for an appointed lawyer, and I'll have you fill it out, and I'll take a look to see whether you qualify. I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I will get you to Ramona where you will sign a reset. You will get with Plea if your bond conditions. I don't know if you have a problem with alcohol or drugs. If you do, now is the time for you to address it. Because if I see it becomes a problem, I will address it for you. And I promise you're not going to like the way that I do it. Do you understand? Okay, come on.
Can I go for last name?
Top of page 16.
I don't have a dog.
Oh, Stair.
Thank you.
Do you need a cause number?
No, I got it.
Okay.
I'm gonna swear you into the health track. So just raise your right hand. Do you swear to affirm that you will not report your care at all to the district against the driver's license? Yeah. You know, if you was not engineer.
Judge.
Devin, but I see an attorney in there. I don't want to go in there. What is it?
I mean, it's already 11:30. If they're not here, yeah, we need to like,
Mr. Mallard, come on up.
oh, this is the same thing. I see that you have a lawyer. I don't know where they are, but we need to get cooking. So, okay. So, Mr. Mallard, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You're also charged with resisting arrest. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On March 1st, 2025, at approximately 11:08 p.m., the officer was dispatched to a 911 call regarding a vehicle stopped on the road with the male in the driver's seat passed out on North 8th Street in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed the defendant's vehicle stopped on the road facing the wrong side, forcing multiple vehicles to drive around the defendant's vehicle. The officer observed the defendant's vehicle's engine on, with the defendant sitting in the driver's seat, appearing to be sleeping or passed out. The vehicle was in drive with the defendant's foot on the brake. The officer observed an open container of Bacardi rum, 750 milliliter bottle, approximately 10% full, sitting in the front right passenger seat, and the officer attempted several times to wake the defendant unsuccessfully, which led to the officer being forced to break the defendant's front right window to get into the motor vehicle due to the doors being locked. The officer placed the vehicle into park, and the defendant was asked to step out, who immediately fell to the ground. The officer observed slurred speech, red bloodshot eyes, a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, and poor balance. The defendant refused any standard field sobriety test, and the defendant advised he had not consumed any alcoholic beverages, wished to speak to his lawyer, and was loudly repeating no consent to all questions. The defendant was read the DIC and refused breath. A blood search warrant was signed and executed. The defendant was transported to HCA Southeast ER to obtain blood, and the defendant refused to exit the officer's motor vehicle, even when the officer asked multiple times. The officer had to physically guide the defendant out of the vehicle, and the defendant stopped walking while walking to the ER with the officer and advised he wanted to go to the Veterans Hospital. The officer advised the defendant he had a search warrant, and the defendant refused to move. The officer grasped the defendant's upper arm and advised the defendant again of the search warrant, and the defendant refused to move. The officer advised the defendant that if he had to pull him inside, he was facing additional charges. The defendant again refused to move. The defendant advised he wanted to go to the VA hospital, and the defendant started pulling away in the direction away from the entrance to the hospital. The officer attempted to pull the defendant to the entrance, and the defendant continued to pull away. The defendant went dead weight and laid down on the ground outside and refused to move while screaming at the top of his lungs, "Someone help me." The officer was assisted by hospital security in placing the defendant in a wheelchair, allowing transport into the hospital, and the defendant's blood was only able to be drawn with assistance of 3 officers holding the defendant down.
My goodness. Can you run his NCIC? Does he also have a felony DWI with a child as well?
It was reduced to a DWI just above a 0.15.
If you have a problem with alcohol, you better address it, Mr. Mallard. Because if you don't, I'm going to do it for you. I don't want you out in the middle of the night, and I'm now giving you a curfew. You are not allowed out past 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., and I'm going to put a monitor on your ankle so I know that you're not out in the middle of the night. On your other ankle, I'm going to put a scram monitor so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. Likewise, I don't want you to drive. I am now taking away your privilege to drive as well. You're not allowed to drive. Do you understand?
Judge 96?
Yeah.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Heed this warning. If I
Oh, God. Oh God, I would love a curfew. I would love it. Nope. Sorry. Can't go out because I have a curfew. See my ankle monitor? I gotta go home, guys. Sorry.
Find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. Every single time that you drive, it's an offense in and of itself, punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand? I don't care what the justification is. Jesus comes, needs a ride to church. I don't care. Do not lie.
Shut up. Hey, there's the Charlie Brown jacket again. That was me. I don't want anybody to let me work.
I am also now placing a restriction on your license that you.
Excellent. That's all. I couldn't see them.
I'm now placing an additional restriction on your license as well, that you are not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. If you're caught driving a vehicle, number one, we're gonna have issues with this. Number two, I'm sending now notice to DPS in Austin so that they know any vehicle that you drive is supposed to have an
Terry,
interlock
thank
in
you
it. So if you're
so
caught
much.
driving a
I
vehicle that
appreciate
doesn't
it.
have an
Thank you.
interlock, they will take you directly to jail. Do you understand? At this time, you're not allowed to drive. So you will get, well, you got the scram, so I'm not going to give you a portable device, but I don't want you drinking at all. This thing is extremely finicky that they're putting on your ankle. So know what you put in your body. Do you understand, Mr. Mallard?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you consume alcohol, anything that has alcohol in it, cakes, candies, foods, gums, energy drinks, hair dye, I've heard it all. If I find that you're consuming, it's really not going to go well. So I'm going to have you come up here, swear to this. After that, I'm going to get you to Ramona, where we will have you sign a reset. I will have you get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and then we'll have you take a seat while we wait for your guys to get here. Come on. Great. Okay. Thank you, Smash.
Do you want to correct the note that's already filed for the AFM?
What do you mean, correct?
There's a note that's already signed that includes contacts. Yeah, includes contact, just not,
I think the new one, I put in the specific good cause, request for contact.
He put it in the new one.
okay.
So I guess you could write, if you want to print it out, I'll write no contact in the old one too. So just, it's, you print it out, let me write it in.
Okay.
Sure, he picked up
Something just happened. I'm going back. Something just happened. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna stay here.
Okay.
And
They're recommending Hue.
one,
And I told her that probably is what they were going to recommend before she even came in. So she already had her mind going that way.
right.
And she's okay with that. I don't think the state's.
And I think that that's probably the right course of action, you know, and I think that we should do it.
Yes, Your Honor. So the next
Any-
question is how do you want to handle the probation?
Extend it.
Okay.
We'll extend it and then at least a year.
So I think November, Your Honor, should be at her 3-year mark.
Well, like, extend it to November, you know.
That's
And
what
then
the
we'll
conversation
go-
we just had before we came up.
And we'll go from there. I
I'm
mean,
like, I think she's getting kind of close. All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
is it 6 months?
Correct.
Okay.
So normally it's 3 months
She
inpatient,
does
3 months
well.
aftercare.
Okay.
Raise your right hand.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks. How long is there a wait?
About 2 weeks from now, I can rush you.
You're the best. I don't know what to do about Abel. I guess I'll call him, Ramona.
Well.
We should be logged.
Oh,
Nothing
he's logging
happened.
in? Okay, great.
It looked like something happened.
Carl, you want to
I'm
talk about
gonna wait
something?
another minute.
You want to talk about something?
Do I want to talk about something?
Yeah, great. You look like you need to approach. Okay.
But I do want to talk.
Let's,
I mean, you can check.
I think they know what she does.
Hi, Kurt. I was wrong.
She was signed. I don't think she was signed.
Nothing happened.
hundred and one? Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay, so do you mind? Okay, and then just let me know once you get, I'll go however you want to go. Just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. Sure. Thanks, Counselor.
That sounds so good.
Okay. Ramona, I'm gonna stare on Granny. Good morning, Miss Rice.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you're charged with failure to identify oneself while being a fugitive from justice. That makes it a Class A misdemeanor. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 24 days in jail with credit for the 8 days that you've done. You need to understand there's a couple very serious points now. Number one, this is going to go on your record. It will be there forever. From now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. The other thing that you also need to understand is that you're on parole. It's very possible that because you're on parole, by pleading guilty to this, it may result in further confinement. I don't know for sure. They may send you to ISF, but they really could send you back to prison because of this.
Yes, sir.
Knowing this, do you still want to do this?
Yeah.
You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will go on your record. You can never take it off.
Yes, sir.
And how do you plead to the offense, ma'am?
Yeah.
I'll find you guilty, send you to the agreement. Good luck to you. Thank you, Mr. Bonds.
Ms. Ford, for Raymond. EOUR.
Okay.
Which, I'd like to challenge the PC.
Well, that's why I have you here.
I figured.
Oh, hell no. After I saw a Dutch toilet, there's no way I'm using a Dutch oven.
Because I was, I thought it may be problematic as well.
Okay.
So let's talk.
So,
You want to hear it again?
yeah, I haven't heard.
Oh, you haven't heard it?
Oh, okay.
Okay, please. Come on up, Ms. Paul. Okay, so it's a DWI, Class B. Mr. Pons, please.
Yes, Judge. On March 2nd, 2025, the officer was dispatched to an accident call on the 4500 block of Southwest Freeway. The defendant was passed out in the passenger seat of a tow truck, and the officer noticed that her eyes were low, her speech was slurred, her breath smelled like alcohol, and she had urinated on herself. The defendant stated she had one drink and was coming from a club. The defendant showed lethargic behavior, and the defendant confirmed that she was the driver and that no one was with her. Standard field sobriety tests were administered. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 6 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant considered a breath, and the results were 0.128 and 0.118.
We have her in the passenger seat of a tow truck.
Right. So her statement alone isn't sufficient. That's all they have about her driving.
And Your Honor, in the complete OR, there's further statements that kind of clarify the time period that when this happened. The officer stated that at 7:20 a.m., that's when he was dispatched to the accident call, and he arrived at 7:21. And the defendant stated that she was on scene and she was coming from her residence from a bar called Good Mood that she had arrived at 3 a.m. And the defendant stated she had the one mixed drink only and left Good Mood Lounge at 5 a.m. when she proceeded to head home. And the officer found the vehicle on the right shoulder stalled with the front passenger tire blown out. So the traffic or the encounter with the defendant took place 2 hours according after when she left the bar.
But none of that same, well, go ahead.
Have,
I'm down to you.
so do we have an officer that actually sees her in the car in the ditch?
No, Your Honor, the car is just found in the ditch with the tire blown out, and the only thing the officers have to put her in the vehicle is her statement saying she drove and when she left the bar.
Well, that's it then. If that's the only thing they have, no PC.
Why?
Judge,
Their statement alone can't be sufficient evidence. They need corroboration.
And the corroboration we have is that when the officers arrived, there was nobody else on the scene. There was a crowded freeway. There was nobody else who could have gone to the accident
yes.
or left the accident because they were on a highway with traffic and there were no other people around.
One, I don't see that the officer said any of that. Two, that's still not going to corroborate that she was driving.
Why are you saying that the statement, her statement in and of itself is insufficient?
That's a rule. I couldn't give you a case if you want.
Yeah. I do.
Okay, well, give
So,
me time.
yeah. And I'm willing to, if you want, maybe like we can revisit on Monday
Okay.
I get the celery.
because I want to give you time. I want to,
Wait for her appearance? For Monday?
yeah, I'm going to put her under conditions though, but yeah.
Understood.
Okay.
Fozzie, if you show up to Kelly's house to eat some dinner with us, I'm drinking your beer.
But I'd like to do a deeper dive on the PC and I want to know, is that in and of itself insufficient? And it'll give you more time as well.
I'll reach out to the officer.
Let's reach out Monday and we'll do more, I guess, a formal hearing. Ms. Poor, we will have an additional hearing on Monday to determine whether there's sufficient probable cause to go forward. So you need to stay in contact with Mr. Pons and he will tell you how we went forward on Monday. As it stands now, I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs while you're on bond in this case. Do you understand? If I find that you consume alcohol or illegal drugs, I'm going to revoke your bond and we'll put you in jail. Could you guys run a license, please? And any other prior DWIs?
Your Honor, no prior DWIs, and we're running her license right now.
You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. If you do not have car insurance, you are not allowed to drive. Do you understand? Okay,
Your Honor.
great. So for now, I'm going to have you sign a reset with Ramona. We're going to set it for Monday. You don't have to be here. No. We're going to waive your appearance, but Mr. Pons will let you know how everything transpires on Monday. And then after you sign the reset, I'll have you meet with Felicia if your bond conditions, and after that, you'll be free to go. Okay? Okay, Mr. Pons. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
See you Monday.
So she needs to meet for bond conditions.
Yeah, well, she needs to sign the reset, but yeah.
Signing bond conditions to embrace your judge.
I need her. I just need her.
SHIAK.
Case?
Yes.
Okay. On that one, just no drugs, no alcohol, no going back to JCPenney.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, cool.
Thanks.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready? Abel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come up, Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with assault of a family member. You're also charged with terroristic threat of a family or a household member. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. Just so you know, I appointed you a lawyer yesterday. Your lawyer is here with you now. He is on Zoom. We're going to do probable cause now.
Yes, Judge.
Judge, I don't know if you remember, we did probable cause yesterday. You found probable cause, unless you want to revisit it.
I do because I don't remember anything about it. And I want to be able to hear it with him so that we're all on the same page. Just real quick, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yes, Judge.
Please.
On March 4th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to an assault in progress call. The officer met with the complainant and the defendant, who both stated that an assault did not occur. The officer then met with a witness who stated that he observed the defendant swing at the complainant 3 to 4 times. The officer spoke with a second witness who stated that the defendant opened the passenger door and punched the complainant 5 times. And when the complainant got out of the car, observed the defendant strike the first witness in the torso and shoulders. The officer then spoke with a third witness who stated that he saw the defendant strike the complainant 3 to 4 times with a closed fist and heard the defendant state he would fuck you up to the complainant.
Mr. Weber, I don't want you to have any contact with this person. Do you understand me?
In Your Honor, if I may, after having contact with the complainant and Sebastian for me as well, we would be okay with no threatening and harassing.
No.
Yes, Judge.
No. I don't want you to have any contact with this person. And I want you to understand now that I'm going to protect every
You better give those kitties some.
person in my county, regardless of who they are, what color they are, they're a small farm animal. Do you understand? Don't have contact with this person. If I find that you violate these conditions, if I find that you become a danger to my city, if I find that you pick up a new case, I'm going to revoke these bonds and I will make them high. Do you understand?
Judge, if I may.
Please.
Judge, the CW was the one that came into court yesterday. She's a clerk for the Harris County district. She's a clerk there in Harris County.
Say it again?
She's a clerk there in Harris County.
The complaining witness is a clerk here in Harris County?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
She's the one that gave us those affidavits yesterday that you showed me.
I understand, but I've got, go ahead. Go ahead.
She did not have any visible injuries. She states to me and to the district attorney that they were fighting over the keys and that it was just that it was mutual and that no injury occurred. She did not have any bruising again. She told that to the officer when she was arrested. Oh, I'm sorry, when my client was arrested. There were no visible injuries, nothing that would corroborate what the witnesses are saying.
There are 3 different independent, unrelated witnesses who see first 4 to 5 punches in the head, and then as he allegedly takes her out of the car, these same witnesses see 3 to 4 punches in the stomach as well.
Again, Judge, if that were the case, we'd have some injury, Judge. We don't have any injuries that are noted by the police in the report or by the CW when I saw her yesterday or the prosecutor when he spoke to her yesterday, Judge.
Judge, just to confirm, yes, that's what the complaint told us as well. The same thing. There were no visible injuries, no bruising, and that's why I'm asking you. We'd be fine with no threatening harassment.
Come up, ma'am.
Wait. Oh, stop. She's a court clerk. She's a clerk of a court in Harris County, Texas. She came into court today knowing she was coming into court today wearing that, and she's a clerk? No, absolutely not. Something's wrong here.
I want to make sure that every single person here is protected, and 99.9% of the time, I always like to follow what the complaining witness is, meaning you, what your wishes are. Because, I really take that into account. I have to be honest that from what the witness's statements say, it sounds really, really just aggravating and just, I don't want you to say anything. And so when I see something of this nature, it really takes me back. And that's why, there's a method to my madness and why I do what I do, and to, to protect you, because I don't want something to happen to you. That's because you're the person I care about. What would you like?
I have those affidavits in my prosecution for a reason. I never called the police. I don't know what they found.
I don't want to talk about the case. I just want to know do you want to have contact with this person?
Yes. We deal with a lot of things together. We didn't hurt things, so I don't know.
There is an order for protection that is in place now. I don't give a rat's behind what is going on. I don't care what stressors you have in your life. But if I find that you put hands on anyone, I'm going to put my hands all over your bonds and I'm going to rip it. Do you understand? I don't care what is going on in your life. You put hands. It's really not going to go well. Number one. Number two, the court order that I have now, the order for protection, says that you're not to have any threatening or harassing contact with the complaining witness. I don't care what you think is threatening or harassing. It's what she perceives. So can conduct in and of itself violate this thing? If I go like this, is that threatening or harassing? It is, and it will land you in jail. Do you understand? I will do what you wish, but if I find anything happens in the future that hands are put, threats are made, I'm going to yank the bonds and that's it. Okay? So if you guys want to do a rip now, I don't know if you've already done it.
We've already,
but okay.
it's fun, Judge.
So do you mind filing no threatening, harassing, no weapons? You're not to be in possession of weapons as well. Do you understand? Okay, take a seat for me while we get everything ready for you, sir.
A minimum, Judge?
Yeah.
This already where we said on the web.
You want just a normal setting? Abel?
Yes, sir.
Here's Wade.
Yes.
5, 6 for the 8.
What'd you
May
say?
6 for the 8.
May 6th to the 8th.
How's the 8th?
Okay.
It's yours. Okay, Abel, thanks for coming back, man.
See you, Judge.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Ready?
This will be really easy.
I like easy.
Okay, Monday afternoon, about 3 o'clock, you owe me in the interest of justice on a Francis Ike.
Okay, I don't remember.
It's an old theft to be, but he's in the Fort Bend County Jail, and I guess they reached out when they notified, or when they found out they had the hole.
Okay.
I just spoke to the chief across the hallway, since you're chiefless right now. She went ahead and took a look at his criminal history and all that stuff. They're filing a nollie for your signature, and I was told to report back by today on what's happened.
Sign it right now.
So as soon as it comes through, that's what's happening.
Do you want to wait for a copy?
That's it, guys. We made it to the end. Guys, thank you so much for coming out today. I appreciate it. A lot, a lot, a lot. I shall talk to you again soon. It is redirected right over to the OJ stream if you want to watch it. If not, I will see you all very, very soon. Be good, okay? Bye, guys.
Got these life echoes, digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late at night, when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor, dark and twisted charm. In a way, there's no alarm. Freedom tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Her eyes hear a sky so blue. In her jokes, there's a truth so true. With each stream, she brings the light. Turns dark days into bright. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor, dark and twisted charm. In a way, there's no alarm. Streaming tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's laugh